How to get your first 100 customers. So our team did a massive research haul going over some of the fastest growing companies, and we wanted to understand how they reached their first 100 customers. It was surprising to see how the top decile got their first 100 customers so fast when others took years to reach there. But when we started looking under the hood, we found that it boiled down to 7 key adjustments. And in this episode, we are going to break down these 7 adjustments, starting from what an average team would do to what are those pro adjustments. We publish this internally so that we don't have to make these costly mistakes. So if you are trying to get your first 100 customers as fast as possible without the battle scars, this episode has a defined playbook that you can deploy. All right, what's the first technique?
I think one of the basic techniques, direct outreach. Just start with manual outreach, sending out cold emails, direct messages on LinkedIn.
Yes, and I also would add that in 2024, you have to be cautious that the response rates have gone down. It's right now, it's not even 1%, it's 0.5%. Okay. So the caveat would be it's not just outreach, but outreach at volume. So you have to add that volume, because otherwise a lot of founders give up because the volume is so less, they don't get response, and they probably think that the feature is not good, the product is not good, but it's purely a volume problem. So you have to dial up the volume. Plus, given that the market has become so saturated, everybody is trying to reach out using email as a channel. Personalization in terms of the first line of the email always helps you to stand out. You can use tools like Play. You can use other tools like OpenAI assistants and so on and so forth to create a custom first line, and then other relevance point to stand out. The second thing that I would want to add is sometimes there is a trap of what we call the intro-based meeting trap, which is basically your VC kind of gives you the intro, your early the friends intro you to a bunch of customers. Those are all good. They help you to go up to 100K, 200K. But the problem is that doesn't expose you to the real market resistance.
The next technique is content creation. You can develop a variety of content relevant to your product, such as blog posts, or you could be even more creative with shorts and Instagram reels and so on. But bottom line is like create content about the problem you're solving, the product, the solution that you're offering with your product or service.
My add-on will be that a lot of time the struggle is that not the content creation, but you just don't have any audience. So your content is not reaching out to any audience. You're creating content in Twitter, but if you do not have any followers, those are not seen by anyone. So early stage, one of the hack that we found was to, instead of 50% time being given to content, rather 50% should be devoted to replying to the content, so that at least you are being seen. And if you are having interesting reply, you are getting the eyeballs. And then people probably would take interest, they'll visit your profile, and then they can follow you, you can start engaging with them. But if you do not reply, you do not have audience, just creating content in void might be sometimes discouraging. The second thing that we found is in the content, a nuance is that in the community, like a Slack community, that instead of putting it in the Twitter, where it's very difficult to stand out, if you go to a Slack community where people are very engaged, if you take the same content that you have created and post it in a Slack community, chances of you getting noticed is drastically high. Okay, because it's a closed community, you have everyone's attention. So that's another hack that we found working really well. This third hack that we found, which is from very basic content creation to advanced content hack, is what we call the other people's network. Okay, so you'll see this trend in LinkedIn where you create a content. That's your basic content. And then you tag, somehow make sure that it tags to a tool or an influencer everybody is talking about. So if you create a content and somehow tie it to Clay, you will get the Clay audience to come and actually take a look. So that's where you stand out. You build your audience, and then you take it and then you publish your content directly in front of the audience. The next one will be that a lot of time I've seen that, and again, this is what our research shows, that people try to create blog and feel that blogs will get them the get them the early customer. It's very difficult to make a blog work where you're, first of all, you're getting through the SEO hump. Also, the guys who are coming, they fit your ideal customer profile. It's very difficult, and it could be very slow sometimes. But when you're looking for your first customer, you are in some sort of rush. You're trying to validate your market thesis. So just be aware that blogs can take time.
Let's talk about another technique, which is referral programs. So you could leverage the power of, word of mouth by setting up a referral program, right? You basically encourage your initial users or your power users to refer to their friends, their peers, and others by offering them incentives.
I'll just add on one more point: partner programs, where you basically you have a shark in the industry, and you just attach yourself with the shark. So, for example, if you have a HubSpot integration, and somehow you can tap into the spot world, that is a very easy way to get a bunch of early customers. Same with, if you have a Chrome extension, you basically tap into the Chrome Play Store, Chrome App Store rather. Similarly, integration partnership. A lot of times companies like Salesforce has a lot of integration partners. And the moment you create an integration with Salesforce, you have access to the Salesforce App Exchange. And Salesforce App Exchange has massive amount of distribution leverage. People come there, check out tools and platform, and you get into that. You have access to that audience.
Yeah, another good technique you could use is building in public. So you could share your startup journey openly on platforms like Twitter, LinkedIn, or even indie hackers, right? Share your wins, share your milestones, and other people in the community notice it and appreciate it and kind of help you progress further.
Yeah. So my add-on to this would be that sometimes we feel that the only way to reach customer is through your feature, but then think of this as the game of getting attention, and your founder's life is, it could be turned into a reality show, and everything like your failures, your losses, your everything can be just shared in public and create some sort of story. So there are a lot of companies who are doing very well. Like they share how they lost a customer, how they had this controversy with their competitor, okay, and how they have how a payment gateway provider has banned them, and all sorts of stories. Eventually, the goal is to be in front of your target audience.
Another one you could try is free trial or freemium models, as they are also commonly known as. So, offering a free trial basically can reduce the entry barrier for potential users and customers. This allows users to experience your product's value before committing to big ticket size or committing financially big amount for the product. So yeah, let them try before they buy.
Yeah, so the pro tip is that the free trials have become very commonplace. Everybody has a free trial. So your free trial has to be really good, like really, really, really good. And it might be that your free trial is completely a product in itself for which others pay. And so the competition has gone to at least at that level in SaaS. Also, you can take your product and then you add on a couple of additional bells and whistles and create it like an offer. Now, offers have more attraction towards your audience than a raw product, which can be commoditized. I'll give you an example. There's a company which is competing with Apollo, which is called ListKit. Now, at the end of the day, they are a tool that helps you find emails or contact numbers. That's a product. But what they have done smartly is that they have converted this thing to an offer where they are saying that, hey, you know what? You're not going to just get this tool, but there will be a person who will set up your 50 inbox or 50 domains or 100 domains for you, because they know that that's the problem people are facing. So with the product, they're slapping some sort of service for which they're charging, but then they're making it more close to the pain that the person is having, the user is having, instead of just selling one more list building tool. So that's where from a feature, if you can somehow tweak it to an offer and make it more even connected to the pain that customer is facing, that is a great way to get the first few early.
Awesome. Another technique is to engage in communities. Like Identify where your target customers or users are hanging out, be it online forums, LinkedIn groups, or industry specific gatherings that your target users are going to. Participate actively over there, share your insights that demonstrate the value that your product brings to them.
This is the one which we have tried, and we do it regularly, which is, instead of just us posting on community, we incentivize our target audience to post on our behalf. Okay, so we have a program in which we talk about customers achievement, what they have done, and we make them hero, and they actually publish their story in front of our audience, because otherwise it might be sometimes a little difficult to consistently generate content for community. So that's another workaround we have found out, and it has been working very well for us in B2B space.
Advertising is another technique you could consider to reach to your customer, like very targeted advertising. So what you do over here is you utilize this as a platform where your potential customers are likely to hang out. Let's say Google, like your customers or your potential users would be searching for terms related to your product, like, and it's not just Google, like even other platforms could be included. So you advertise on those platforms, and maybe start with a small budget, because advertising expense can bloat up even before you realize. So start with a small budget and test with different messaging and audiences to finally fine tune what's working for you, and then generate more ROI by scaling it.
Tight really product market fit. Investing a lot of money into ad really make you broke. So make sure at least the first level of test is done through some sort of a cold outreach, which is less expensive. You know that if you hit these sort of customers, they actually generate into a lead, and then you can convert them. Once that sort of a basic lightweight market fit is there, you can put some money onto ad. Otherwise, it might go risky, because you might spend a lot of money, get customers on your page, but then none of them convert.
Well, it's been so long and we haven't talked about a very common technique: SEO, search engine optimization. So you need to optimize your website and content for search engines to be able to crawl it and understand what authority you hold on certain topics. And then it helps you attract organic traffic from search engines to your website. So invest in SEO.
And pro tip will be, in case you're in an early stage, Google actually looks into a lot of authority signals, which you're not going to have in an early stage of your website. So in those cases, for the very important keywords, it's very difficult to rank in page one. One of the hacks that we see consistently being used, companies like Zapier, companies like Airbnb, and so on, is that target the long tail keywords and use programmatic SEO, which is basically saying hundreds and thousands of pages you can create in a programmatic way, and you target those long tail keywords for which there is no competition or very less competition. And using OpenAI, that used to be very difficult, but now with OpenAI, it has become a little easy. I think you can check out Zapier. They have probably thousands of pages how you can use Zapier with this, Zapier with that, how to connect this with that. And they have created thousands of pages, and they have tremendous authority on the long tail keyword. So that is another hack at an early stage, because if you go to a very straightforward way of building SEO authority, it will take.
Last but not the least, success stories. You've gotten a few early customers, try to get them to work with you on writing a case study or a customer success story. Well, case studies, they are a tremendous social proof, right? Those testimonials showcase the experience people had with your product and the benefits they've gained from it.
Yes, and other thing that we found in our research is that a lot of early stage companies have good success with top of the funnel. So they generate a lot of traffic who are coming for the demo calls. Some of them convert, but the guys who don't convert, there is no way for them to constantly nurture them. There is no nurture sequence. There is no constant communication with them, and so on. So the leads who are basically have not converted in the first go, which is very less likely in a lot of enterprise cases, there's no way for them to nurture. So, which is the mid funnel part. So that nurture sequence, it can be done using a lot of case studies, because the moment you share a success with a person who has probably not converted from demo, it generates an interest. Okay, somebody got success. One more guy got success. One more company gets success. And that's a great nurture sequence for you to constantly tell them that, hey, we are doing this, and these are the success stories. And at the end of each mail, which goes probably every Monday or something, you can have a link to the demo. So then again, if they're interested, they can set up demo. So it's like every week you are prospecting them, even if they have said no in the first demo. And that way you can have all the lost customers being nurtured and programmatically being directed to your demo page. Also, because you have spent money in terms of bringing them to the demo, there's no reason for you to leave them and let them be without nurturing. So that's another hack. Use customer stories to activate them.